Hello everybody, Echo Zane Adventures here, and yes, I have been gone for a very long time, but that's because, one, I had a video planned, and the files got corrupted, so I couldn't upload it, there was no footage, and two, last video I planned, it failed miserably. I hate how it turned out, so you're not looking at that anytime soon. But what you can look at is the fact that I have been very into Danny Fenton recently. And by very into Danny Fenton, I mean Vlad. I love Vlad. And of course, Dark Danny, my favorite, my beloved. But we can't forget about the man, the myth, the legend, the ghost child himself, Danny. He is the absolute MVP. Everyone loves him. And if I was old enough at the time, I probably would have had a crush on him along with everybody else. So after getting into a franchise as amazing as this, what is the most logical solution? You turn them into a cat. Now, in terms of turning characters into cats, I like to say that I'm fairly experienced. I've done quite a few Pokemon characters. I've done Ingo, Emmett, Volo Merchant Form, Guzma, and N. All adults, by the way. But with Danny, it was a little bit different. I mean, I gave him a smaller build because, young Danny Fenton, he was just 14. But the real trick is, how the heck do you make Danny a cat? Like, do you just take a singular color cat and put it in Danny's clothes? Do you try to translate Danny's clothes into a cat's fur pattern, like what I did with Guzma? I ended up doing kind of a mix of both eventually, and you'll see that sooner. But yeah, here's little Danny. And I started to mess around with some patterns a little bit because I actually had no freaking clue what I was doing. I eventually found this image of a cute little tabby cat online and I realized that this is perfect. This is what we're going to do. But of course we can't make Danny Fenton without making Danny Phantom, so I'm going to be making two Dannys today. The ghost form and the human form. Now in terms of his outfit, we all know what Danny Phantom's outfit looks like, but his fur, I was thinking maybe inverted colors, but it kind of made him look like he had a 5 o'clock shadow with that, so I ended up changing it white. As for the rest of it, it is sort of inverted in a way, considering that it went from a yellowish hue to a bluish hue, so yeah. Anyway, here's the concept finished. Now, onto the actual sculpting part of the video. The hardest thing is going to have the heads look identical. I already had enough trouble doing Ingo and Emmett trying to make the twins look identical. This, I'm not too worried about body-wise, considering they're going to be in two different poses, but the heads need to look the same, so that's going to be tricky. And I suppose in terms of, like, arm width and all that jazz, that should probably stay consistent. You know, I mentioned earlier on in the video that my favorite Danny Phantom character was Dark Danny, but I want to know, did any of you guys watch the show when you were younger? Do you still watch it? If so, who's your favorite character? Let me know in the comments. And here we are, both of the boys finally done getting sculpted. I think I did a fairly decent job in terms of having them identical, at least in the head region. Now the next step is getting them in the oven. Alrighty, here are the boys, all baked. Now, all we need to do is paint them.
One annoying painting session later.
And without further ado, here are the boys! Clearly, Fenton version of Danny. Very cute, very fluffy little cat. You might be able to tell that there's a little bit of a seam on his jeans. That's because his leg broke off. He decided he wanted to be naughty. Bad boy. You go sit in the corner now. Bad boy. Now, the Phantom version of Danny. If it's a little bit weird that his bottom little ghost tail is a slightly different color, that's because it's actually made of translucent clay, but I don't know if you can actually tell, like, if it gets picked up by the camera or not. I mean, maybe you'd be able to tell if I, like, held him to the... Yeah, you... I guess so. Ghost tail. So yeah, here are my 2 Dannys. All done.